is Dominic Anderson. I'm 21 years old. I train Jiu Jitsu in San Diego, California. Now in wrestling and jiu-jitsu, you want to focus on 4 things. I want to have my head up, my neck stiff, my back straight, and my legs bent, okay? And then afterwards, we'll focus on where to put our hands, okay? So the first thing is that I want to keep my head up. That way, when he goes to grab, he's not able to control my posture because where the head goes, the body goes, okay? Next thing, my neck's stiff. This is what's gonna give him that control of my head is if my neck is not stiff, if my neck is not strong, okay? I wanna stand firm with my head in the same position, okay? That way, when he does grab, it does not affect me. I can still keep my head where I wanna keep it and I can go for my thing, okay? Now I wanna keep my legs low, my posture very low. Why is that? Because a lot of guys like to go for shots in jiu-jitsu, okay? So when I keep my legs low, what happens is, first thing is that if he does go for shots, he's not gonna be able to finish them on me. It's gonna give me that defensive plate that I want in order to make sure I don't get taken down. And the second thing is because it intimidates him to even want to go for shots because my legs aren't wide. He's not able to just answer whenever he feels like it because my posture's so low, okay? And then also I want to have my arms down by my feet or by near my knees as close as possible, or I want to have them on my opponent. I don't want to have my arms up here or by my chest. They're either going to be low, okay, or they're going to be on him. And I'm going to go over where you should put your hands, so what hand first, what you should not do later on, okay? So I'm going to focus on 4 things. I'm going to keep my head up, my neck straight, my back's going to be straight, my knees are going to be bent here, okay? And then I'm going to keep my arms low or on him, but never up here, never by your chest. Down low or on my opponent. All right, now that we've got that out of the way, let's focus on where to put our hands. So if my hands are not here, I'm gonna engage with the guy, okay? So what I wanna do first, now, the first thing is that when you're in your stance, you wanna either keep a square posture or the foot that you wanna shoot with stays first, okay? So your most comfortable leg, you put that in front of you, okay? Now where do I put my hands? My comfortable leg, I wanna reach with my cross hand, not the same side. This opens me up to getting taken down. So I wanna make sure I reach with my cross hand first and I place it right on his lap, or right on his shoulder here, okay? I place it here, boom. Okay, this gives him like a stiff arm. That way, if he does go for shots, I can kind of control him if I want to. Okay, so the first thing is that when I'm in my stance and I want to engage with the guy, I'm gonna stiff him first with my cross hand, not the same side. Same side as the lead leg. You wanna go cross. That way, it doesn't open me up for attacks, okay? So cross hand first, and then I come with my right hand. Now where do I put my right hand? My right hand can go one of 2 places. Namely, on the back of his head, or I can reach for an underhook here, okay? So when I engage the guy, and I go cross, back of his head, or underhook here, that's it. So you don't want to go anywhere else with that. Not with the cross grip, okay? So cross grip first, back of his head, underhook here, okay? So what this will look like in a real situation, I'll be here, cross, boom. Straight to his head. One will be here, cross, underhook, okay? But I'm never reaching with this hand on the same side. I'm always reaching cross. If I'm switching my feet, I'm gonna reach the cross hand on this side. Whatever you feel the most comfortable with. Now we're gonna focus on the having his head, okay? So I've reached with my cross hand, I've grabbed his head. What do I not want in this situation? What I don't want is to be ear to ear with this guy, okay? This gives him an equal opportunity to kind of control me. Okay, and it gives me less attacks to go for. So what I truly want in this situation is that I want to keep my head where his head is. And not, like I said before, you want to stand firm and where your head positioning is, okay? Keep your head and your neck up this entire time. Because this becomes more of like a dogfight when your head's in this position here. Okay, so cross, you grab here, you keep your head right on his forehead here. And then you can kind of pick and choose where you want to go. But you don't want to be ear to ear with the guy like this. Okay, this is gonna cause you a lot of issues when he wants to go for that same side leg that you have because he's so close to it. To whereas if you put your head in front of his head, it's kind of a block. Like if he changes levels, I can keep my head in front of his and he's not able to get to my legs. But if I keep ear to ear with him and he changes levels, look how close he is to my foot. So I'm gonna keep my head right in front of his. That way when he does change levels, I can follow him wherever he goes. It makes it so much easier, a lot more easier for me. Versus if I have my ear to his head and he changes levels and I didn't know he was gonna go there. So So the first thing, so you're low, you reach, boom, and you keep your head right where his head is. Okay, and then you figure out what you want to do from there. But you want to always be in front of the guy, not side to side with the guy. All right, now when I have this underhook position here, so let's say I go for my cross and I get the underhook. How do I want this? Now, with the underhook, you have more control when you're closer to the guy and the lower he is. So the opposite is true as well. That if he's further from you, right, and he's high, you don't have really control of the underhook, okay? So when I'm here and I reach, I want to pull him into me and I want to kind of yank on this hook here, okay? This gives me control of the guy. I can move him around if I want to, right? Okay, so I go for my cross, I grab the underhook here, boom. I yank him, okay? And this gives me so many opportunities. I can grab his head here, okay? Or I can release that and go for his leg here, okay? So when I'm here, I grab the underhook, okay? And then, see the thing is, if you're gonna grab the underhook and just keep it, then keep your head where his head's supposed to be. I'm gonna cross under here and place my head right in front of his. It's kind of to the side, but the point is you're keeping your head, you're making it to where it's the same concept, that he's not able to just go for your leg whenever he feels like it. Okay? So I'm gonna keep my head right in this position here until I figure out what I wanna do. Okay? So if you're going for the underhook, you don't know what you wanna go for just yet. Okay, if you're not quite sure, you keep your head in front of his, okay? And you kind of yank him, you pull him around until you figure out what you want to do. Now we're gonna go over opening up shots from the underhook, okay? How you can get to certain positions with the underhook, okay? This is very important to understand, like, exactly what if you know what you want to go for, then just go for it right away, rather than like putting yourself in that reset position to where it's a bit more neutral, rather than you can just have the control and go straight to from the control right to the position, okay? So what's gonna look like is this. So I'm here, I have this cross, and I go for the underhook. Now instead of me doing all this and being in front of him, which is fine, if I know exactly what I want to go for, I can just stay in the pocket here and start working. So the first thing we're going to focus on is just getting his head here. Okay, so I go for the cross, I go for the underhook. I don't square it back up with him, okay? I stay here, and I yank him, and I go over his head here, okay? So I'm gonna reach, underhook, I grab it, I yank it. Boom, and now we have this position where I have a front headlock here. I'm gonna reach for the cross, grab the underhook, and I reach for his head, okay? If his head's kind of high when I go for this underhook, you can always yank him. You can grab him here, okay? All right, now what are some options that you have when you have the head and the arm, okay? So I reach for my cross, I get the underhook, I yank him, boom, I have his head, okay? Now we're gonna focus on going over his arm and having a grip here, okay? You wanna have a gable grip, okay? And when I lock it right at his trap on the other side, okay? That way I can keep his head and his arm in the same place, okay? Now what are some of my options here? One of the things I can do is I can yank him and bring his knees to the mat, okay? And this gives me choices to where I can spin behind him, or I can go for chokes, or if I have this position here, I have his arm trapped. I can also, I can put pressure on his head, and then when I feel like it, I release it, and I go for the leg here. How is this effective? What happens is when you put pressure on this guy, automatically he's gonna wanna pop back up. He's gonna want to do that. This is very uncomfortable for a lot of guys, especially when they have bad posture. Okay, so like let's say I'm pressuring him, I'm keeping his head to the mat as much as I can, and he wants to posture up, and I feel that, boom. Now while he's coming up, I can grab his leg. Okay, it's like I'm pulling him down, and then when he pops up, when he decides that's when I go for it. And he doesn't expect that to happen to him. So I'm gonna be here, and the good thing is that he doesn't see this coming either. He's not focusing on how low I am. Okay, so I'm gonna hold him here, okay, and then he's gonna wanna pop up. When I feel that, I go for the leg. What are my options when I have him have his knees on the mat and I'm on top of him? Okay, so I grab my cross, right? The underhook, I have his head. I yank him, boom. What are my choices? Now, one of the most common things you can do is you can go behind him, okay? There's a few ways you can do this, okay? Now, one of the first things that you want to do is you want to make sure that your toes are on the mat, but your knees are not on the mat either, okay? So you don't want to be in a position where you're like this, okay? One is fine, two is ideal, okay? It's the most practical, okay? Because what happens is The more your knees are off the mat, the more pressure you have on this person, okay? So I'm gonna be here, let's say I just tapped him down, boom, I have my head on I have my arm on his head and I'm pushing him to the mat. He's feeling a lot of pressure right now, okay? Now we're gonna do what's called a go behind, okay? The go behind is basically you're taking you're grabbing his trap, okay? And you're stopping him from being able to move and you're spin behind him quickly, okay? How does this work? So I'm gonna have the pressure on him. I'm gonna take my hand and push the back of my hand on his trap, okay? This stops him from being able to go for shots, okay? So I already have this pressure on him. I put the back of my hand on his trap, and then I just walk that direction. Here, okay? It's very simple. So you just, when you're here, you're in this sprawl position here. You forced him in this position, okay? I have both of my legs off the mat, or just one. Either's fine, but this is ideal, okay? I take the back of my hand, place it on his trap. Now, when I place it on his trap, I don't want it to be going across his head, over his head. Not under his chin here, over his head, on his lat, or on his trap, okay? Now I circle, my left hand goes over his back, and I have this position here, okay? I can go for seatbelts, whatnot, whatever, but the main thing is when I'm here, I spin, and I get over this position here with my left arm over his stomach, and I can work from there. We're gonna go over a go behind drill, okay? This is something that needs to be focused on for guys who wanna hit the go behind immediately, okay? So this is how you get comfortable with this, because this is kind of hard to go for, especially when you fear of getting put in like a single leg or something like that, or getting taken down. So let's say I just sprawled on him or whatever, or like I just snapped him down, and I have my weight on the guy, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go for the normal go behind, but this time, instead of me just staying here, I'm gonna circle back around him. Now I'm gonna go for the other side. Back of my hand on his trap, he spins, then you continue to spin. Same thing. And you're not just spinning, you're focusing on making sure that your hand is gonna be on his trap and it's collapsing it, okay? You wanna make sure that it's trapped, that he's not able to take you down, okay? Because going for this move, you're gonna be moving, and if he does grab your leg somehow, you're gonna end up falling, and then you'll be on bottom. That's not where you wanted to be initially. So you're gonna be here, sprawled on him, on his trap, boom. On his trap, boom. On his trap, okay? And that's the drill. Now, one concept that we want to go over is the fact that a lot of times you're going to have to go from being on his head to his legs. Okay? And a very common position of this is being in the sprawl position, and you want to go behind the guy, but he's standing up. So what do? You go from his head to his legs. Okay, so what's going to look like is this. Let's say, for example, I did everything I did before, and now I'm in this sprawl position here. Now what happens, a lot of guys, they step one foot up. Okay, go ahead. They step one leg up, and they kind of have it like a little bit back. Right, so what happens is it's going to be a lot harder to spin behind a guy who knows how to wrestle, because when you do go behind him, he's going to stand up, and then now you're going to be on your feet with it, right? But a lot of times what you want to do is that, let's say you want to go for your go behind, right? And he puts one foot up. You want to take control of this foot that's up, okay? So one option you can do is you can literally just reach over and grab at his ankle, or at the cusp of his leg here. Okay, so what I like to do personally is I like to be here. He steps up. Now I dive my head to the mat, okay, and I grab at his ankle and I circle around. Okay, so I'm gonna be here. I dive my head and I grab his ankle, and now I circle, so I can be behind him here. That way, when he tries to get up and run, I have his foot and I can collapse him. Okay. Now, a few things. I'm in this position, I'm in this situation. He stands one foot up, okay? Now, what I want to do is I don't want to do one or the other. Like, I want to do them at the same time, okay? I don't want to do them like one after the other. I want to do them at the exact same time. So when I'm here and I see that his foot's here, I don't want to grab and then dive my head. I don't want to dive my head and then grab. I want to do both at the same time. So I'm here, okay? This gives you that momentum to be able to, you know, get his leg quickly and securely, and also get from being in front of him to behind him quickly. Okay, because what happens is if you just reach and you're still in front of the guy, you have less control over his upper body, right? So if you just reach and that's it, you don't dive your head quick enough, he can get away from you, he can go into you and take you down because you have less control over the guy because you're going from being here to having one leg all the way over at his leg, right? So when I'm here, at the same time, I want to dive my head and I want to grab his ankle here, okay? Now, when you dive, you can put your head in one of two places. It can be either on the mat or on his side, okay? So I'm gonna be here, he steps up, he's up. Now I'm gonna have my head, and I'm gonna place it right at his ribs, here. Now, it's important to know what part of your head goes where. You're gonna put your forehead on his ribs, not the side of your head, not the back of your head or your chin. Your forehead's gonna be on his ribs, and then you're gonna dive for that ankle, here, okay? So now we're gonna focus on a back take from him being in the turtle position, okay? So to get this hook in, this first hook, I'm gonna take my left hand, right? And I'm gonna go for a claw. It doesn't matter what hand you go for, but I want this side, okay? So if I want this side, I wanna get the opposite side in a claw position, okay? So now I'm gonna take my left elbow, I'm gonna pry it open, okay? I'm gonna pry it open as much as I can. I'm gonna step over and I'm gonna come inside here. Now I want my hook to go all the way down. How to do that is you put your knee to the mat and you circle, okay? Boom, now I'm here. What you wanna make sure that you have when you have this hook is that you wanna make sure that your hook is over his shin, over the back of his shin. So you don't want it to be just kind of lingering this way. You want it to have it over to lock it completely, okay? Now when I'm here, I'm gonna do what's called a monkey roll. A monkey roll is basically we're gonna grab the seatbelt at the same time as we roll, okay? So I have this one hook, and I'm able to roll over his back safely without getting reversed because I have this hook locked securely, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab at the seatbelt, I'm gonna step my right knee over his body, and I'm just gonna pull him over me. Here. All right, so he's gonna be here in the turtle position, all right? Now I have the claw, I pull this down, I open his leg here, okay? I step inside simply. Now I have this hook securely over. The difference is this. Instead of having it just here lingering, lock it over the back of his shin, very important. Now that you have it locked, you grab the seatbelt and then you roll. You have so much control when you do this because you have the seatbelt, you have his upper and his lower body controlled. Now I just want to focus on getting this other hook in, okay? So now that I'm here, grab the seatbelt, I step my right knee over it and I roll at the same time. So now I'm in the situation. What's a back take I can do from being behind him like this, okay? This is the one I like to do for a lot of explosive guys, okay? Especially for wrestlers in particular, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be here and I'm gonna go for my trap go behind here. Boom, now that I'm here, what do? So I'm in this situation. My chest is on his back, okay? This arm's already under here. This arm's gonna already be over here. Now I gable grip or I S grip. I do not lock my fingers like this. Gable grip or an S grip, okay? One of the two, that's it. You gable grip here or you S grip. The S grip is you have a bit more to maneuver with because if it gets loose, you're still able to hold on to the guy. Whereas like if the gable grip, it breaks, okay? So I'm here, my chest is on his back, S grip or gable grip, it doesn't matter. Now what do? I'm going to be square with him here. I'm in kind of like a squatting position. You see, like I'm here, have the S grip, I get behind him in the squatting position. Now I pull him before I go for this move, okay? Why is that? Because when you pull somebody, naturally they're gonna be like, no, I don't wanna go where you wanna go, I wanna go where I wanna go. So when you pull him, he goes forward. When you pull him, he goes forward. In this move, where do we wanna go? We wanna go forward. Okay, so I'm gonna pull him. He's gonna wanna go forward, I'm gonna do a front flip. Now this front flip, you can do it slowly in the beginning. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna literally just flip And I'm gonna keep this grip the entire time, okay? I'm literally just gonna flip over his head. That's it. Now, what you can do is you can stay, your partner can stay and you don't pull, right? So like, let's say you go for the front flip and you just stay in the position where you go halfway. So like you can be here, you can pull him, you can flip, and you guys just stay here. This is the drill. Okay, this is a good way to get familiar with going for that type of position, okay? So I'm here, I have this, right? I pull him, and I go forward, okay? To finish him, all you do is you just pull him on top of you. That's it. I mean, there's more details to it, but. So the first thing, if you really want to just get familiar with this type of movement, you grab here, squatting position. You pull him, go forward. Here. All right, so now we're gonna go into the collar tie, okay? Now, let's say I'm in my stance, and I reached, okay? I grab his collar here. Now, a lot of guys, they don't just let you grab, okay? They like to grab back. Now, how do they grab back normally? Just like what he did. He's gonna grab me here, yep, exactly. I have my hand on his trap here. He's gonna reach his hand on my trap here. Now we're in an equal position, okay? Now, in this situation, it's very important because it's very neutral at this point. It's nothing but neutral. You have the exact same things. So you want to be sure that your head is up straight and your neck is straight too. You have excellent posture in this situation because whoever gets their head lower than you, intentionally, I'm not talking about like if I switch levels, but if I pull him under me by my choice, then I'm in a more dominant position. To whereas if, same thing with him. If he's able to like break my posture down like this, he's gonna be in a more dominant position. Okay, so I wanna make sure that I'm in the situation that my head's on his head, and I'm being extremely firm. That way when he does try to pull me, I'm staying in the same position. I'm not moving, I'm not wavering where I wanna go. And I'll do my thing, but we're in a very equal, neutral position, okay? Now when we have the collar tie, it's very equal. So we have to open up ways for us to be able to go for attacks when we have more of an upper hand in the situation. So when we're both here, we both have the same things, right? Okay? Now what I want to take my hand that's on the outside, not on his head. I want to circle it on the inside, and I want to kind of bully and break what he has. It doesn't matter where he grabs after this because I'm on the inside. As long as I'm keeping my control on the inside, what I don't want is for him to circle back into me. This is where I don't want to be on the outside. This is where I'm weaker in this situation. So I'm here, I go inside, boom, now I have the inside control. Now I have a better position. We're not equal anymore. Okay, so when I'm in this situation, okay, I keep my head up, I go into him, boom, boom. I do my thing, now we're in this equal situation. Circle, boom. Now I've just opened up 10 to 15 attacks just from having this alone. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna have a drill going. Basically, you and your partner, you're gonna be here in a neutral situation. You reach, he reaches, same thing, right? Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back and forth and circle, okay? And each time we both circle, exactly, we're gonna switch from having his head, right? So I'm gonna have his head here. He's gonna circle on the inside, right? Now I have to work. Now I circle on the inside here. Now when I'm here, since I'm on the inside control, I can switch heads. I can switch it to the other side of his head. Boom, right? So now I'm on the inside here. Now he's gonna switch inside. Boom, now I wanna switch. If I wanna go back this way, I can. Okay, but we're gonna go back and forth here. So I'm gonna keep fighting, right? Boom, I grab here, I go to the inside, he goes to the inside. I switch off, but I'm always fighting for that inside control, okay? Doesn't matter what side you have your hand on his head. As long as you have that inside tricep control, you're good. All right, now I'm gonna go over a duck under from having the inside control, okay? Now, I'm gonna go for we're gonna be here, correct stance, correct posture. I reach. He's on the inside, I swim, okay? Now that I have what I want, because I'm on the inside now, okay? We're not in that neutral position anymore. I'm on the inside, okay? Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go for a duck under from this position, okay? Now a duck under consists of multiple things. The first thing is that you're gonna end up being lower than him and pulling him over you this way, okay? So what you want to get to that position where you're gonna be under him, able to reach up for his back, is that you wanna keep this extremely tight, okay? This is what's gonna bring you over to him, okay? It's just having that head control. Where the head goes, the body goes. So I'm gonna have this head control really tight, and I'm gonna be on the inside here, okay? Now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to basically drop my weight, and I'm gonna pull everything over me. Boom, okay? Now when you pull it over, you don't wanna just you don't wanna yank it. You want to pop it, so you wanna be here. Boom! I popped it, I went like this. And I ducked, okay? So I'm here, I drop my level, boom, I pop it. I don't just yank it over me like this, okay? I do one solid pop. So I'm here, and I pop, okay? Now at the same time, I'm bending my knees completely. I'm bending, I'm pulling him, and I'm under him, okay? So to finish this, to get behind him where you want to be, stand up straight and put your ear to his back. Your ear to his back, and you look over his shoulder, okay? So I'm gonna be here, I grab, I duck, ear to his back, I look over his shoulder, now I'm behind the guy, okay? So I'm here, I grab, boom, I have this, boom, now I'm behind him, okay? The last part of this exercise is that when you do go for this, you keep this grip that you have here, you want to pull it down towards the mat. Why is that? Where the head goes, the body goes. I'll say this over and over again because it's so important for wrestling. You pull it, keep that control of the guy, okay? You pull it, head over his back, spin behind him, okay? But keep this claw, you pull it to the mat the entire time. This is what's gonna keep that position for you. If this is weak, no matter whether you're behind him or not, if this is weak, he's gonna get out of this. If this is not strong, if this is not firm, he's gonna get out. So you can keep it tight. Now, what if you're in a neutral position and you can't get to that dominant control and you want to get behind the guy? Another option you have is a throw by, or kind of like a shuck is what we like to call it. So we'll be in this neutral position here, right? We'll have the same thing on both sides, okay? Now, what I'm gonna do in this situation is that I wanna put my forearm on his elbow. Forearm on his elbow, okay? Head's gonna be where it needs to be, okay? Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep my right foot where it needs to be, which is forward, okay? Now I'm gonna kind of chicken wing his elbow up, okay? And I'm gonna pull his head over my shoulder, okay? A lot of guys, what they do in this situation, they pull it kind of down towards their hip, okay? And it messes up the move because you can't really get behind him in that way. So you want to be here, okay? I'm here, right? Forearm on his elbow, and I shuck him, okay? This shuck is, you're chicken winging his arm over your shoulder where you want it to be, and you're pulling at the same time. Okay, so I'm gonna be here, forearm, boom, okay? Now this is the same as the last position. Whereas like as soon as you do shuck him by, what's gonna keep him is this claw right here. Okay, so you wanna make sure that you're pulling this down and be firm with it. Because wrestling is a very firm sport. You have to be very aggressive in order to get what you want. Okay, it requires a lot of strength. Okay, so I'm gonna be here. I shuck him by and I pull him. This is what's gonna help me keep the position and get behind him. Because he's gonna be fighting this. He doesn't want me to get this. So when I go for it, I have to really go for it and pull him into me. That way I can get behind the guy where I want him to be. Okay? So we move like this in real time. So I'll be here, boom, boom. Okay? I'll be behind him. One more time. I'll be here, grab under, boom, and I'll be behind him. All right, now you have his back and you're totally behind the guy, right? So how do you get him? I mean, you're behind him, you have a good position, but what do? One choice you have is to go for his crotch, okay? So I'm gonna be here, right? Let's say I get under him. I come around, all right? Now I have this claw and I have this arm over his back. Get rid of the claw. You lock immediately. You get rid of the claw and you lock. You don't want to get rid of the claw and then not know where to put your hands. From the claw to the lock, nowhere else. Okay? You want to make sure that you're going straight from one thing to another rather than giving him that space to kind of go off and do whatever. Okay, so from the claw to the lock. Now I have the lock. What do? Now there's a lot of options you have in this position. Okay, one thing that I like to do is you go from the lock, instead of having a gable grip here, you have an S grip instead, okay? So I go from a gable grip to an S grip, okay? Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go behind him, okay? And all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna push him forward a little bit, and I'm gonna squat, and then I'm gonna put the hooks of my feet in the crevices of his legs here. And I'm gonna let him fall on top of me, here, okay? Now when I do this, I'm gonna stretch him a little bit, grab the seatbelt before anything else. This is gonna keep that control, okay? So I grab the seatbelt and then I go for my hooks. Now what hook do you go for first? Does it matter? Of course it matters. The hook you wanna go for first is the hook that's over the seatbelt, okay? So the same side, you go for that hook first, okay? It keeps that control. If I go for this hook first, you have less control of the guy, it feels awkward. Whereas you go for the same side that you have the seatbelt, boom. Then you can kind of pull him towards you because you're already on the side that you want to be on. You can stretch him out, get the other hook in. Okay, so let's say, so I'm here again. Do my thing, I duck him. Behind him, I go straight to the gable grip here. Now from the gable, I go to the S. From the S, I go here to his back. I squat, I pull him into me, and I stretch him. Seatbelt, same side, I pull him into me. If I need to, I'll stretch him a little bit. Get the hook. All right, so now I'm here. I have my S grip still. I reach for the seatbelt first. The same side of the overhook, you go for the hook. Now you pull him to the side of both. Pull him to that side. This is where you want to be able to choke. This is where you want to pull him every time. I have my feet crossed. If he's giving me a hard time with this hook, I can't get it in for some reason, I just stretch, and then I go for the hook. This gives me that space. Like a lot of guys, they put their knee to their chest and they put their elbow to their knee, and they make it extremely difficult for me to get that hook in. So what you do is you just stretch, step over, now you have his back. Now we're gonna focus on how to get a takedown from having the claw position, and you're already like somewhat behind me. Okay, so let's say I'm here, I have everything I want. I duck him fully, I come up, okay? Now what I wanna do is I wanna keep this claw here. This claw is what's gonna help me keep this position, okay? Now I'm gonna take my left hand and I'm gonna go into his crotch here, okay? Now, what makes this move successful is not the fact that you're pulling him with your strength, you're lifting him with your arms, no. It's about the pop in your hips. That's gonna give you that momentum to let him fly, okay? So, what's important is that you do this move in one motion. You don't wanna break it down into steps like, oh, I'm here and I stop, and then I go for the, no. You want to make sure that you're doing it all in one time. That way you can keep the momentum going, okay? So I'm gonna be here, you duck, I lift him with my hips and I bring him down safely, okay? So one more time. So I'm gonna be here. So I pull him over me, over his back, grab his crotch and I lift, okay? And I just bring him down to the mat safely, okay? One more time in real time now. I'm gonna be here, boom. Have this, boom. Bring him down. Now I'm going from the collar tie, we're gonna go from having just his head in his collar to both collars, okay? This is gonna open up leg attacks for you. So I'm gonna be here, okay, I'm gonna reach, I grab. He grabs, right? He's gonna have the same thing that I had before. So now we're both in this neutral position again, okay? So now what I want is both collars this time. So I have both hooks. So I have one here already. So I don't focus on this one, I focus on the one that's on his head. Now the good thing is it's extremely easy to get because you already have the inside, right? On his head. So you're here, all you do is you just slide your hand from his neck to the strap here. That's all you have to do, okay? So you just slide, boom, you slide. If we switch, yep, so you just come here. Okay, I have the head here, okay? To get this inside, I'm just gonna slide it. That's it, I'm just gonna slide. Boom, now I have both. This is where I wanna be for leg attacks, okay? So if I'm gonna be here, he has the head, I have the head, I slide it, and now I'm where I wanna be, because I have both of the inside hooks here, okay? I went from having a collar in a sleeve to both sleeves, or both hooks, whatever you wanna call it. Okay, so I'm gonna be here, you slide it. If you're on the other side, you slide it. You just slide down, that's all you have to do. Now we're gonna go to a single leg from having both collar ties, okay? So I'm gonna be here, I'm gonna reach, I'm gonna grab. He's gonna grab and reach, okay? I'm gonna go with the inside here, I'm gonna slide. Now I have both inside ties. What does this mean? It means I have most control over the guy. I can move him wherever I feel like it. Okay, so what we're gonna focus on the single leg from having this position, okay? So the first thing you wanna do is you wanna figure out which leg you wanna go for first. It doesn't matter whether the foot is in front of him or behind him, okay? If you want that side, you go for that side, and vice versa, okay? So I want this side. So I see his leg is stepped back. So I'm gonna pull him the direction to get his leg in front where I want it to be. So all I'm gonna do to pull him, I'm gonna pull this side and I'm gonna take a big step. Boom, now his leg's in front, okay? Now at the same time, as I pull, I'm gonna change my level, boom. Now when I level change, I'm gonna do something very important. I'm gonna let go of this and I'm gonna keep this. You don't wanna let go of both. You don't wanna pull them and then be here. You pull it, you keep this, and you change, and you let go of this. Now this is totally open for me to go for a single leg, okay? So I'm gonna be here, I'm gonna pull him, let go, boom. Now I'm right where I wanna be, right in front of him, okay? You keep this collar, or this tie here, okay? So I'm here, pull him, boom. Okay, if I want this leg, whether it's in front of me or not, I pull him, boom. Same thing, I keep this side, I let go of this side, I change my level and my head's up, okay? I'm gonna be here, boom. If I want this side, no matter whether it's in front or not, I pull it, boom, I'm here. Now we're gonna focus on getting to the actual single leg, okay? So I'm gonna be here, I have what I want already, okay? Let's say I already did all that, okay? Now I'm here, I pull him towards me, level change, okay? Now when you level change, what you want to do, I want to put my knee right by his foot, okay? I keep my head, and I put it in his chest here, okay? So I level change, boom. I change my levels and I squat. My head goes in his chest, my knee goes by his foot, here, okay? Now I'm keeping this the entire time. Now what I want to do, I want to go for a wristwatch position here. A wristwatch, basically, if you can look at your watch. This is how I like to look at it. Okay, so I'm gonna have my watch here, and I'm gonna grab a gable grip under that. But if you look, I can still look, if I wanted to look at my watch, I can do it. This is why it's called a wristwatch position, okay? Now from here, I'm gonna push my head, and I'm gonna rotate it inside of his ribs here, okay? I'm not gonna keep my ear towards his head, towards his chest. I'm gonna rotate and put it in his ribs. Now I'm gonna step up and I'm gonna drive him down, okay? Now, what a lot of guys will do is that when you go for the single leg here, I pull him, boom, and I step up, he just hops with me, he doesn't fall, right? This is where you're gonna likely end up, okay? So what I'm gonna do in this position here is I'm gonna keep my legs pinched, keep my head in his rib cage, and I'm going to keep that wristwatch very tight, okay? If this is loose, my legs, he's gonna be able to get his leg back, okay? If this wristwatch is not tight, I won't be able to transition from the takedown to the other one. And if my head is not tight, then he's gonna be able to go for my neck, okay? So these two things are very important, okay? Now when it comes to your head, you don't want your ear to be on either side. You don't want it to be here, you don't want it to be on the outside either, especially, okay? Keep that head tight in his ribs, you keep that wristwatch tight, and you keep these legs pinched. You're gonna stay in this position if you're firm in this, okay? So if I go for the move, I shoot, he stays up. Boom, he doesn't fall. Same thing, okay? I keep that tight, wristwatch tight, and I keep my head in his chest here, okay? All right, now we're gonna go for what we call a treetop position, okay? This is from the single leg, all right? So let's say I already have the leg, did what I wanna do already, I'm here, okay? Now we're gonna go for what we call a treetop. A treetop is basically, you're gonna bring his foot by your shoulder. You're gonna lift him as high as you can. Now what I'm gonna do to get this position, I'm gonna grab, see I have the wristwatch right now. I'm gonna grab from the wristwatch to his ankle. Now from the ankle, I move my inside foot to the outside. I step out, okay? But I don't do that until I have this ankle. Very important. okay? You don't want to have this here and then step out, because he's gonna be able to muscle his foot back down to the mat, and you have to like use a lot of strength to get that leg back. So I'm gonna be here. From the wrist, I go to his ankle. From his ankle, I step on the outside, and then now I'm gonna lift it, bring this leg closer to this arm closer to his ankle, underhook, boom. Now, a lot of guys, they're not very flexible. So what happens is, once you start to lift him, he just begins to fall, okay? This is what you want, okay? So, I'm gonna be here, go for this. Boom, I pinch, ankle, pull it. And as you can see, as soon as you start to lift that, he's already off balance and he's getting ready to fall, okay? This is what you want. All right, so I'm gonna be here, boom, I'm here, I lift it, he falls. Now I'm in a situation where I can start passing. All right, now we're gonna focus on a concept that's extremely important for Jiu-Jitsu, and that is, once you take him down, you pass immediately. Because a lot of times what happens is guys, they get taken down and they kind of freeze up like, oh my God, I just got taken down. This is when you want to start passing, because he's thinking about getting taken down, and you're focusing on passing him right away, okay? So let's say I went for my treetop, boom. I'm here, I have this, I go for everything perfectly, correctly, now I'm here. Now you want to figure out, before you hit this move, what your go-to pass is gonna be. Very important. So for me, what I would do, you come here, immediately. So what it would look like is this. Boom, I have the single leg, I lift it, boom. And I go for the pass right away. This is very important. Okay, so you want to have a drill going to where when you're drilling takedowns, you want to make it extremely automatic, very automatic. That as soon as you go for a takedown and you have him on his back, you pass him immediately, okay? So I'm here, boom, boom. It doesn't matter what pass you do either, okay? And then one more thing I want to focus on is, once you have him on his back, okay? Let's say I take him down. I'm here, boom. You never want to let go of these ankle grips you get, because guys, they get up right away, okay? So you want to make sure that you keep control of the guy until you actually start your pass. You don't want to like take him down and then let go. You know what I'm saying? Like he's going to be able to run away at that point. You take him down and you keep this. You keep this, you go to your thing, okay? You keep this, you go to your thing. You keep this, you go to your thing, okay? But the point is you keep this. You take him down, you keep it, go to your pass. Immediately. All right, now I want to show a way to get the single leg, but from a 2-on-1 grip, okay? Now, 2-on-1 you go for it when the guy has total control of your head, and it's kind of hard for you to deal with. I mean, because, you know, a lot of times guys, like, they'll have the head control here, and, you know, you'll try to clear this up, and you just can't get it. These guys are just strong. So when you're going in the inside, trying to push to the outside here, you can kind of switch it and get, like, go to the outside to get them inside, if that makes sense. So I'll be here, right? Let's say I'll be in the situation here, and they'll have my collar, and it's very hard for me to deal with, okay? I don't want to go for shots in the situation because he has control of my head, and where the head goes, the body goes. And also, since he knows where my head is and he feels it, he can feel when I'm trying to like go low. He has feeling that I'm trying to go low for shots. So I don't want him to have my head ever when I'm going for shots, okay? So now that I'm here, instead of me going to the outside here, I can go to the inside here, I can go to the outside this way instead. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna roll my shoulder to the outside like this. Now at the same time, I'm gonna grab his wrist and I'm gonna pull it towards my chest, okay? So roll it here and I'm gonna stretch out, roll it over, turn my body this way, and I'm gonna grab his wrist and pull it towards my chest, okay? So this will look like this. I'll be here, I'll grab, and I'll roll it, boom. Now when I'm here, I wanna go from his ear to his tricep. Now from his ear to his tricep, I pull this, and I push it into him, okay? So I pull it into me, then I push it back into him. This gives me this closes that space from him and I, okay? Because what he doesn't want me to be this close to him. He wants to get me, he wants that distance, okay? I want to be close to him, especially since I want to get his leg. Okay, so I'm gonna be here, I grab, okay? Now I'm here, what I grab, I'm like, you know what, I want that 2-on-1 grip instead, so I'm gonna grab at his wrist before I do anything else. I grab his wrist, roll it, boom. Now that I'm here, I go from his ear, here, under. I pull it into me, then I pull it back into his chest here, okay? So I'm gonna be here, boom, boom, I grab, now I'm here, okay? Now when I'm here, I wanna make sure that I have this wrist and I have this here, okay? I grab his tricep and his wrist, and I'm pushing this into him. And that way I can keep that space covered, okay? So, one more time, I'm gonna be here. I grab, roll it, boom. Pull it, push him back into me, okay? I'm gonna focus on going from the single leg, from the 2-on-1, okay? So, I'm gonna be here with my opponent, grab, boom, now I'm here, okay? Now I'm pushing it into me. Now what I wanna do is for this move, I wanna pull his arm down by his leg, okay? I want this leg. Do you see how close I am to his leg? Okay, so I'm here, and I'm very close to him. Okay, so all I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna let this go. What happens is when you pull him down this way, he wants to shoot back up. Let him go. You shoot, you open it, boom, I have this leg here. I don't have to drop my knee to the mat this time, okay? So I'm gonna be here. He has the head grip. Boom, I'm here. I'm pushing it in. Now I'm like, I want this leg. You pull it down to where his leg is, okay? Now I'm very close to his leg. I'm extremely close, and I have this distance covered, I'm good. I pull, I let go, boom. I grab his leg here, okay? Now I have the single leg, okay? So what this will look like is he has this, boom, I'm here, pull it down. Whenever I feel like it, I let go. Do not worry about his arm being in the way of the leg. Even if you get both of these at the same time, let's say you have this here, and his arm's kind of caught in the mix here, don't worry about that. Just get the leg, he'll pull it out on his own, because this is not a good position for him to have his arm trapped anyways, and it's not really, it doesn't really affect the takedown at all, okay? So I'm gonna be here, boom, boom, and I'm here, okay? Now, when picking up the leg, you can do one of two things, okay? I'm gonna have this, I pull it. Now either I can grab at his thigh here and go straight to the ankle and then pull it up, okay? Or I can go to the wristwatch to be safe. If you pull it up straight from here, bring it to your hip immediately, okay? You don't wanna go to here and then to here when you have this already. Just go straight to it. So you have this, so I have this grip here, boom, I grab, okay? Straight to it, boom. But if I go for the wristwatch, I want to come here and I grab this and I have it pinched here from the beginning. That way I can have that control of him, okay? I can control him for a little bit, grab him where I want to grab, I can adjust when I need to, and then when I feel like it, I can go to his ankle, pick him up. Once I bring this to the air, he falls. I keep this grip. Do not let this go and give him that space to move around and maneuver. Let him run off and whatnot. You keep this, go into him, go into your pass. Okay? So we'll be here. Boom. Let's say I want the thigh and the ankle. Straight to it. Boom. Lift it. Keep this. Go straight to your pass, whatever it is. Let's say you don't want any grips. You just want to go straight to the single leg. Is it possible? Of course it is. So what you do is, we're going to be here in that stance that I talked about earlier, okay? Head up, neck is firm. My knees are bent, hands are low, okay? Now my hands are low. Okay, now a lot of times what guys do is they keep the stance kind of squared, okay? Which is kind of, it's a pain, okay? So what we're going to focus on is whether he has the leg in front or not, okay? So put this leg forward. Yeah, so let's say he's already here, right? He's here, he's where I want him to be. He has one leg forward for me, okay? So what I can do is I can go straight to it here, okay? That's not very realistic though. So what you could do to open it up for yourself is that you can be here, right? You're in your stance, you grab here, and then you go for what we call a fake. A fake is literally a fake shot, okay? So we're going to fake him out to make him react, and then we go for the takedown, okay? So what a fake looks like is like this. You're here, boom. You fake, you act like you're going for the move. That makes him move and react in a certain way. and that opens him up to get taken down later. So what happens is, you'll fake the guy, boom, he'll move, and while he's recovering from moving is when he's not defending anymore, if that makes sense. So you'll go for your fake, boom, and then while he's trying to get back from recovering, or from moving, that's when you go for your shot. Okay, so it'll look like this. So you'll be here, boom. Because while he's flinching, he has no control of himself. He flinches, he comes back, boom, you're in his leg, okay? So once he flinches, you don't want to shoot after he's done flinching. You want to shoot while he's flinching. That way you can catch him as soon as he gets back from his flinch, okay? So one more time, I'll be here, and I'll be on his leg. All right, now we're gonna go from being in an open situation, neutral, no grips, to a double leg, okay? And from this double leg, instead of us taking him down completely, we're gonna just go to his back. This is effective because a lot of times guys, they go for double leg takedowns and they fall in a position where they can get guillotined immediately. So instead of you doing that, and you being in that situation, you double leg him and you get behind the guy instead, okay? So what we're gonna do is, let's say he has, just for the sake of the drill, he's gonna keep his arms up. That way I can just get into his frame here. So I'm gonna be here, I'm gonna drop my knee to the mat. Boom. I keep my head to the ceiling, okay? I keep my head up the entire time. Why? Because where the head goes, the body goes, okay? I keep my head up, I grab his legs here. Now instead of me trying to finish the double leg normally, I'm gonna grab it a body lock over his back, okay? Now I stand up from the body lock, and I spin behind him, okay? So I'm gonna be here. He's gonna have his arms kind of up out the way of his legs, okay? So I'm gonna kind of fake like I'm going for it normally. I shoot, boom, grab his waist, spin behind him, okay? This is extremely effective, and it stops you from getting guillotined. Now, what if you shoot and the guy wants a guillotine initially, okay? Because a lot of times guys that go for guillotines once you get him to the ground. What if he wants it as soon as possible? This is why you keep your head up, okay? Now, if I enter the shot on him, boom, and he goes for a guillotine, if my head is low, he gets it. But the way to prevent that is by me keeping my head as high as possible. If my head is up and it's firm, go ahead. There was no guillotine for him. Okay, and the more I stand up, the more torque he gets on his shoulder. He lets go of that eventually, okay? So from the beginning, I want to have my head up and my neck firm, okay? I'm gonna be here, boom. You see how my head's already up? Before he grabs, before any of that. It's up immediately, it stays up the whole time, okay? Head has to be firm. So, okay, so for the drill, that's what we'll do. You'll be here in your stance, okay? He keeps his arms out of the way, just for the sake of the drill, okay? We'll be here, I'll do my thing. I'll fake like I'm going for a normal shot, okay? So I'll be here, I'll grab, boom, whatever. He doesn't have to, whether he reacts or not, doesn't matter. You act like you're going for the actual move, okay? Boom, grab the body lock and you spin behind him, okay? One more time. I'll be here, boom. At the legs, spin. All right, now we're gonna go over finishing the double leg in a normal, more natural way, okay? So I'm gonna be here with my partner, and we're gonna have the same stance situation, okay? Now, same thing, we're gonna keep his arms out of the way of his legs, just for the sake of the drill, learning, okay? So we'll be here, right? Now I'm gonna put one leg forward, okay? Arms are low, my head is up straight, that way when he does grab, he's not able to control me the way he wants to, okay? So he has nothing, I have nothing, right? I'm gonna reach, maybe I'll fake, whatever, and I'll get inside. I'll here, I'll fake, boom. Now how do you finish this? Now what you wanna do is you can do a lot of things to finish this situation. But what we're gonna focus on today is just we're gonna put our head to this guy where it should already be. Head should be up, his ears to his chest. Ears gonna be to his side here. His ears gonna be pushing towards that direction. Because where the head goes, the body goes, and we're taking him this way. So we're gonna push him this way. Both hands are gonna be at his legs, as low as you can get them. Stop him from having that control of himself. The higher up it is, the more you can sprawl and all this other crap. So if you keep your legs down as low as you can get them, it stops them from having that control of the situation, okay? So I'm gonna be here, okay? Now I'm gonna step up my feet and I'm gonna drive him the direction that I want my head to go. This way, and I'm gonna keep my arms on his legs and I'm gonna pick them up at the same time. And I'm gonna knee tap him, okay? So I'm gonna be here, boom, I step, boom, I'm here. I have my head up, I drive him this way. Same thing as before, you're gonna keep his arms kind of out the way of his legs just for the sake of the drill, okay? So we're gonna be here. I fake, I step inside, boom. Now my hands go at his legs here, and I'm stepping up, okay? Now, let's turn this way so you guys can see. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my head and put it over his back. That's the direction I wanna go, okay? I'll keep my ear to his chest, or like kind of like the side of his rib cage. Now I wanna have my hands as close to his feet as possible, okay? The reason why is because when you grab at his butt here, he has more space to back up. He can sprawl on me, right? And this kind of creates more of like a body lock situation, okay? But if I'm close to him here, he can't really jump away without me having control of his legs still, okay? So now that I'm in this situation here, I'm going to stand up, I'm gonna pull this leg this way, and I'm gonna knee tap him at the same time, okay? So I'm gonna be here, and I'm gonna drive him to the mat, okay? Now it's very important that we cut that corner. So I'm gonna be here, I take my shot, boom, turn this way, I take my shot, now I'm gonna cut the corner, and I'm gonna peek my head over his back, I'm gonna pull this leg up, and I'm gonna knee tap him at the same time. Here, okay? And I'm driving to the mat. Now, a lot of times you'll end up in side control, which is good, as long as you get them down, so we're focusing on, okay? All right, now we're gonna focus on going from to the double leg from more of like a cross collar situation where the guys actually engage with you, okay? Because a lot of guys, they don't like to stay neutral. They like to grab you and be all rough and tough with you. So a lot of times you have to go for takedown in this situation because you can't really get a breather from the guy, okay? So we're gonna be here in our neutral situation, right? And I'm gonna grab him here, and I'm gonna grab his head, okay? He's gonna grab me back the way he normally does, whatever. Now, to set up the double leg from here, I can do a lot of things. One thing that we're gonna focus on right now is just bringing this to the inside, okay? So the hand that's not on the head, and it's on the outside here is a red flag. So you wanna bring this to the inside first and get that control, okay? Now that I have this control, I have control of him, okay? So to set up the double leg from here, what we're gonna do is we're going to fake him first and then we go, okay? Now the fake is more effective in this manner when he's engaged with you like this because you have control of him when you fake. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually grab at his tricep, you grab at his head, okay? Now I'm gonna kind of yank him down this way. When you yank him and you bring him where you wanna go, he wants to go where he wants to go, which is up. And when you bring him up, guess what? You see how I'm under him and he's up here. It gives me that space to go for my double leg shot. So I'm gonna be here, I yank him, he pops up, boom. That's where I wanna be, okay? So we're gonna focus on just bringing him. So you bring him down, boom, now I'm here. I can take my shot right now, okay? So I'm gonna be here, boom. He's up, I'm low, I'm ready to go for my shot. Let's say you're here, you go for the fake. Make sure that when you go for your shot, he's on his way up. He's not already up. That gives him less time to react and to respond to your shot. Okay, so I'm here, yank him, boom. Do you see how I shot as soon as he started to get up, rather than while he's done getting up? It's a timing thing, okay? So now that we're here, okay, I want to keep my head up, put my ear towards his side, I lift his leg with this arm, I run and I knee tap him here. I run in side control a lot of the times, okay? Now what this does for you, keeping your head on the outside and up high like this, is that when he tries to go for your neck, he can't get it. And when you try to focus on landing in side control, even if he does have your neck, there is no guillotine involved because you're on the opposite side. If you're on this side, there's a guillotine for him if he can get his hips out and hips under you and all that. But if you're on this side, then it stops that situation. All right, now we're gonna focus on freeing your head from the guillotine when he's already got you, right? And this happens a lot when you don't cut the corner with your shots, you kind of take them straight back. When you take him back and he has your neck, he's able to just kind of bully you into him and kind of just, you know, finish the guillotine that way. So we're gonna be up here. Let's say I'm here and I have the double leg, whatever. Boom, let's say I fall straight back, right? Let's say you fall straight back. Now I'm in a guillotine here, okay? He's already got it tight. So what I want to do is mid-air, I want to be able to, I want to hop over and create a situation where if he has my neck, I'm on the side of him rather than being in front of him or on the wrong side of him. Even this is unacceptable, okay? This is very bad, being in the middle of him here, but this is fine. So how do you get here? Okay, so what you want to do is you take your shot, and immediately what happens, you want to be able to, when he takes the shot, you want to bring your arm over his side here, okay? Plant your head to the mat, and then kind of cartwheel over to the side you want to be, which is the opposite of your head. Okay, so let's say I take him down. I'm here, I'm driving him. Boom. It's mid takedown, not after the takedown. Very important. So if I'm here, I take my shot, he falls, and then I try to go, it's gonna be a lot tougher for me because he already has everything locked up. Maybe he'll cross his feet or whatever. How can I cartwheel like this? But if I'm mid shot, how I want to be, right? I take my shot, right? He falls. If during the shot, while he's falling, I do my cartwheel and I get to the side, it's a lot easier versus like if I'm waiting until he falls and then I go for my move. So one more time. Let's say we fall straight back with it, right? So I'm here. So mid shot, I'm doing two things. I'm putting my arm over his shoulder and I'm planting my head to the mat. At the same time, I'm kind of cartwheeling over, opposite side of my head. You don't want to land on this side here. This is a no-go. You want to land on this side here. You do not want to stay in this side. This is very bad. Okay, you've given him your neck already by going for the shot. Okay, so you want to make sure that you land on either. I mean, this is bad, but I mean, you can still kind of maneuver in this, but you can still kind of get yourself out of this, but you do not want to be here too much longer. But, you know, mid shot, if you must, you cartwheel over to the side. This is the best way. There's no guillotine for you at that moment. All right, now I'm going to show another finish from the single leg, okay? When we have the outside sweep single we went for before, and then we're going to kind of rotate our partner. That way, like, he's kind of hopping, and then we take him down, okay? So we're going to be here, okay? I'm going to engage with him, right? Now, same thing, I'm going to go for my both inside controls here, but I'm not going to be on his head. I'm going to be on both of his triceps here. Now I'm going to pull him into me. I'm going to go for my shot, okay? Bring him up. Now, instead of me like going for the treetop, another option that we can do is we can do what we call run the pipe, okay? So when we run the pipe, all we do is we keep this. We never switch to the gable grip. You keep the gable grip, you keep your head in his chest, okay? Now when you go for this move, you want to step back with the leg that's on the outside of his body. Now when you step back, you want to act like you're just pulling this way, okay? You pull him and you kind of suck him down into you, okay? This is what's gonna force him to fall. So I have the leg here. Okay, I have the gable grip and I'm sucking him into me. Now I'm gonna take a step and I'm gonna pull him towards me at the same time. Here, okay? Now this move, it requires you to be very tight in the beginning, okay? So you don't wanna be very loose and then you try to go for it. You want to make sure that you have control of as much leg as possible, okay? So you wanna be close to him, right? Really get on the inside. When you step back, and you kind of force it. Now you're in a good situation where you can start passing immediately. So I'm gonna be here, have it pinched, wrist watch, same situation, okay? Now I'm gonna step back and I'm gonna suck him into me, okay? I'm gonna pull him down and towards me. Down and towards me while I'm stepping back and I'm rotating, okay? I'm gonna be here, okay? Down and towards me, okay? Really suck him into you. Down and towards me, okay? I'm gonna be here. Down and towards me. Here, okay? one finish from single leg we can do is basically we can kind of trap one leg and then reach for the other one and trap the other one too, okay? And this happens a lot when guys are kind of hopping, they're not really turning away from you, but they're not giving you that treetop, so you can just kind of grab one, focus on that one, and then go reach for the other one, okay? So we're gonna be here, right? Now, it doesn't matter how you get the single leg, just get it. So, I'll do my thing, whatever, boom, I'll grab here. Now let's say, I wanna get this, but he's not giving it to me. I'm not able to do what I normally like to do. I can't really run the pipe on him. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull him towards me, right? To get him to hop my direction, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull him. Now he's gonna hop, and that kind of puts him off balance. He's focusing on hopping, right? So while he's focusing on hopping, I can pull him, and then whenever I feel like it, I can knee tap. But when I knee tap, I don't just grab it one side, I grab both. And then I pull him into me, okay? You can see how he's already starting to fall. You don't want to just grab one arm here, okay? You want to get the most control you can. That's by keeping these two legs pinched and then just going straight to the other leg, the far leg, okay? You don't want to do this when his leg is super far from you in certain situations. You want to do this is why you pull him back. So you're here, you pull him, and then whenever you feel like it, you go for it, bum, and then you kind of just you land on top of him like this, okay? Now, you keeping your head in the ribs is what stops you from getting guillotined, okay? So you keep your head here, and then you go for your pass, but you do not let your head fall to the side here, okay? You keep your head on the ribs the entire time. This stops you from getting submitted, okay? You're here, you do not fall here. Head in the ribs, okay? So I'm gonna be here. Let's say I have the single leg. Boom, I pull, grab, head in the ribs. I'm never letting my head slide from this direction, okay? Head on the ribs, and I can go for my passing or whatever. But from the beginning, you wanna make sure your head's always in the ribs. You pull, grab, and I'm here, okay? Another option from the single leg is turning the guy away from you, okay? So we're gonna be here. Let's say I have everything already, right? Now, I'm gonna go for what we did from the treetop before. Now I'm gonna suck him into me this way. Now, what I'm gonna do is he's gonna be kind of hopping. To keep this leg, I'm gonna make sure that it's tight here, and I'm gonna grab at the watch grip here, okay? Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this leg that's closest to him, and I'm gonna put it on his thigh here. Now I'm gonna turn, he turns away. Now from here, I wanna kind of climb. You don't ever wanna let this go. Do not let this go. He's gonna be able to run off, right? So you keep this here. Now I grab my right hand, I go to his thigh. Then from my left hand, I go to his stomach. Then from my right hand, I go back to his stomach, okay? But you see how it's kind of a climb. I'm not just, going from here and then jumping to here. Because you have less control. In this little split second, he can be trying his best to run off. So I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna climb here. Then I'm gonna climb here. Then I'm gonna climb here, okay? Very important. You wanna do this in 3 or 4 steps rather than trying to just jump straight to the move, okay? So you wanna be here. I go for the takedown, boom. I lift him up, have the wristwatch, everything, okay? Now instead of me trying to pull him into me, okay, I can kind of force him that direction. And then once I do that, he puts his hands on the mat. That's when I'm ready to go, okay? Have this wristwatch. Right hand, I climb. Left hand climbs over the right hand, okay? You don't want to climb just the same side that your right hand's on. You climb, you progress with every climb. So I went to the thigh, now I'm gonna go to the stomach. From his stomach, I go back to his stomach here, okay? And then from here we can focus on finishes, but we're just gonna focus on just getting from his ankle to his stomach. Okay, so one more time. So I'm gonna be here. I grab it, whatever, I do my thing, boom. Now, I step up, turn, boom. Now I climb, I have his back. All right, now we're gonna focus on going from what we call a low single, okay? A low single is basically you're focusing on just an ankle and that's it. But instead of you just grabbing with your hand, you grab with your hand and your head, okay? So I'm gonna be here, right? Let's say for example, he puts his leg forward. I wanna attack this leg because I'm in a neutral position, okay? You don't really get to choose what leg you want if you're in neutral. You choose when you're in this position because you can force him to go where you want to go, right? So So if I'm neutral, I get what I get, because I don't have control of him. But if I'm tied up with him, I can choose, okay, do I want this side or do I want that side? Because I can force him to come this way, okay? So this time we're neutral, right? So I'm here, okay? He has this leg forward, so I want this leg now. If he had this leg forward, I want that leg. So now I'm focusing on this leg, okay? So I'm gonna be here. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of dive my knee to the mat. I'm gonna grab at his ankle here, and I'm gonna put my head on his ankle as well, okay? You can do one of two things. You can put your forehead on his ankle, or you can put the side of your head on his ankle, okay? At the same time as you do this, you wanna pressure your head into him to the side of his knee. You wanna go this way. This is what's gonna force him to fall, okay? This is a very efficient takedown. So you're gonna be here, right? Let's say, you're here, boom, boom. Now while he falls, you grab at this ankle as well, okay? Now this is important. As soon as you do fall, you pull his ankles up, okay? You do not want to stay here, because guys like to grab for the neck. In this position, your neck's not very strong here. So as soon as you do fall, you pull his ankle up, okay? This is what gets your head out of the way, but you still have control of him at the same time. Okay, so I'm gonna be here, right? I fake whatever, boom, and I'm up. But I have control of his feet, that way he can't run off. Now from here, I can control, go for whatever pass I feel like going for, okay? So one more time, I'm here, right? I'm faking him, boom, boom. I'm up immediately, okay? He fell, boom, I go for my pass, and I finish however I feel like finishing. What's very important about this move is timing, okay? Because what you don't want is to be stuck under the guy, okay? So what can happen is, let's say, for example, I go for the shot, but I'm very telegraphic with it. I'm like, you know what, raw, and I go for it. Now, for him to defend it, all he has to do is point his knee towards me and pressure into me. Now I can't really finish it. So the way you prevent this from happening to you is you do what we called fakes earlier, okay? So you're gonna be here with the guy. This is a neutral position, okay? So I'm gonna be here. I'm faking, I'm doing my thing, boom. And then whenever I feel like going, after a few fakes, whenever you feel like it, you go for that ankle, okay? But you do not want to telegraph it, okay? So you go for your thing, you fake, boom. He doesn't know where you're gonna move. He doesn't know, boom, boom. Now you're here, okay? Now from the single level, we have what we call a head in the hole, okay? And this is what happens when the guy is able to kind of sprawl back a little bit before you can get that far ankle. And so you have another option from there. So I'm gonna be here, right? I'm doing my thing, I'm open, right? Heads up high. All these things, I'm faking him, boom. Let's say I get to his ankle. But he sprawls, he gets his leg far away. I can't finish the way I want to finish. So what do? I plant the leg that's opposite of the one I'm grabbing on the mat. Now I want to kind of Superman my way up here, okay? Now from here, you want to just turn into him. Not away from him, you turn into him. This direction, okay? Now how you finish depends on how he lands. If he lands like this, you want to kind of climb. You already have his ankle, so you climb, climb. If he lands, with his butt to the mat or whatever, then that's how you finish. But if he's going to be here, you climb, boom, then you climb. As I've said before, you do not want to go straight from here, let go of everything, and then be from here in a hurry, because this guy's going to run away. You want to make sure you have control of him while you're climbing up his back. You're gonna be here, you're pulling him, whatever, you climb, boom, climb again, boom, now you have his back. Okay, so one more time from the finish. So I'm here, boom, I fake, I get the leg, boom, he sprawls, whatever, all right, fine, forget it. Step up, I lift. Okay, now I'm gonna turn into the guy, into him this way, okay? Finish however I feel like finishing. All right, now we're gonna go into another finish from the single leg, okay? So a lot of times what happens is you can't reach for the other leg, you can't pull him back, you can't two top him, what do? So we're gonna be here, okay? Now I'm gonna go for the single however I feel like going for it, okay? So I'm gonna pull him, step, boom. I have this here. Now what do? If I can't get this, If you know I'm having a hard time tree topping him, I can't run the pipe on him, what do? So what you can do is you keep this grip. Now you go to your inside hand, you reach over his head, okay? Reach over his head and you pull him the direction that's on the outside, okay? While you do that, you kind of pull him into you, okay? But you're using this momentum to kind of push him back to get him to fall, okay? So you push him down to the mat like this, okay? So you use that head controlling, you push him over, okay? You're kind of bullying him in this situation. So I'm here, okay, you're here, right? I have this, boom. Now I'm gonna turn my body the other direction and I'm gonna push him down. Now since I don't let anything go, I get close to him, control this so I can get the pass. All right, now we're gonna focus on going from a high crotch to having grips, okay? So we're gonna be here, I'm in a neutral position, okay? I'm gonna initiate, he grabs back, boom, right? So now I'm in the situation where I have both on the outside, so I'm good. I can just go for what I wanna go for. As I said before, since you have control, you can force him to give whatever leg you want him to give you. So now in this particular move, we're gonna go for what we call a high crotch. High crotch is reaching across rather than on the outside, okay? So we're not focusing on this leg, we're focusing on this leg, but we're attacking it with the cross arm. We're not attacking with the same arm. Cross, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull him towards me, baby step. Now I'm gonna take my right hand and I'm gonna bang on his head a little bit. This is what's gonna make him want to reach up. That way I can do my level change and go for my shot. So I'm gonna pull him down a little bit. He comes up, I change my level. I keep this. I always keep, I never let this go until I go for my shot. Okay, so I'm gonna be here. I pull him, he comes up, boom. Now what am I doing here? I'm pulling this arm over my back and I'm cupping his crotch with my hand. At the same time, I'm dropping my knee to the mat, okay? These three things. So I pull him down as he's coming up. I pull him over me, drop my knee, and I reach for his crotch here, okay? Now what I'm gonna do is, this is very important, I'm going to swing my head to the inside of his body. You don't wanna keep it on the outside because of guillotines. Very, very easy for him to get the guillotine. So you wanna immediately turn your head to the inside. Now you're in the same situation you were in before. You have a single leg on the outside, okay? The difference is that you don't have your head up on this side. You have it here on his ribs. Okay, so I'm gonna be here, okay? I'm going to make him step, bang on his head, he comes up, boom. Immediately as I switch my grips, I swindle my head this way, boom. And as I do that, I stand up. Legs are pinched, now I can finish however I feel like finishing. So I want to come here, I lift him, he does that, I climb, and I finish here. Okay, so one more time. We're gonna be here, neutral, boom, okay? Pull him, boom. All right, now one finish we can do from having his back is we can just lift him, okay? We're not suplexing this time, we're just grabbing at his crotch, because what happens when you grab his crotch and you lift with your hips rather than just your entire upper body, it's a lot easier if you lift this person. So let's say I'm here, I did whatever I did and I get behind him, right? So to finish him, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get to the side, okay? So I'm here, I'm switching from here to here. I'm pinching at his legs here, and I'm grabbing with my left hand, which is on the side of his back, and I'm reaching for his crotch. I'm not reaching up for the claw. I'm just keeping this. Before we had the claw, but we're not gonna reach for the claw. We already had it and then we went to the crotch. This time we're just gonna keep the crotch in the side here, okay? Now it's the same principle. You go to the crotch, you lift with your hips. You don't lift with your upper body. You lift with your hips, bring them down slowly, okay? So one more time, so we'll be here. Let's see, I've got his back, I'm here. I swindle, boom, have the S grip here. Okay, I grab at his crotch, and when I'm ready to go, I lift him, I pop my hips up, and I bring him down safely. And I finish how I felt like finishing. Now we've showed how to go from leg attacks to body attacks. Now we're gonna focus on going from body attacks to leg attacks, okay? So let's say, for example, I have him and I'm behind him, okay? I'm gonna have this body lock here. Now, a lot of times, you find it hard to finish a guy by trying to lift him. You can't really get this hook in. So you can always go back to his legs, okay? So if I found myself here, right? And, he's kind of getting the lock away from me. I don't have much control here. To keep him and not have him run off from me, I can always circle and grab a leg, okay? So how to do this is that you want to grab on the outside first and then the inside, not the inside first, okay? So how to do this? So pick a side. So what side do you want? I want this leg here. So I'm going to drop my weight and I'm going to circle that direction. So I'm going to circle the way I want the leg. Okay, now I'm going to take my left hand that's on the outside and I'm going to grab here and I'm going to pick it up here. Now what's important is that you don't leave your head on the outside here. You switch it to the inside here. Now I have, his legs, so he's not running off from me. Okay, and this happens a lot when you have a guy who you took him down and then you'll get back to your feet and you can't take him back down with the body lock. So you want to switch back to this so we can chain wrestle, okay? So you'll be here, you'll pinch it, you can go for your finish anytime after that. So you can be here or whatever, go for whatever you want to go for. So you'll be here, pick a side. So I'll be, okay, I want this side now. I'm gonna circle, outside hand first, then the inside hand, you circle your head to the inside, boom, okay? So same thing. So I'm gonna be here, he's prying it open, I can't do anything. I circle, grab, boom. My head's on the inside now, okay? Now I can go for whatever finish I feel like going for. When it comes to single legs, there's a lot of variations you can do from multiple positions, okay? But you have one situation, and there's so many other options you can go for. So how do you decide what you want to go for? So you have to understand that every takedown works, and it's up to you what you want to go for. But there's certain situations where you kind of want to put one before the other one, okay? So I'll give you an example of this. So let's say I have, a single leg here, right? And my opponent, he's not allowing me to get to this ankle, okay? But he's also staying close to me. So if I'm trying to get here, I'm trying to get back from, and he's staying close to me, guess what I have? I have this leg to go for. So if I'm reaching for this and he's not letting me get it, guess what? I can go for this, okay? If, let's say for example, I want this, but he's backing up from me, well guess what? This opens up the opportunity for me to get to his ankle. So while he's running from me, I can, you know what, boom, and I grab this, right? But initially, all of them work, they're all fine. But you have to understand that, okay, if he's running away from me, I go for the ankle. If he's staying tight to me, I get what's close to me, which is both of them, okay? If I can't get either or, I go to the outside with the takedown, okay? If I have this, but I can't lift him for whatever reason, then maybe I'll want him to turn away from me, okay? I'll come here, boom, okay? If I can't reach for the far ankle to finish him, I'll climb. If I can't climb, I'll reach for the far ankle. Okay, so an example of this would be like this, like in real time. So I'll be here, right? Boom, he'll run away from me. I'll reach, he's close to me. I'll reach here, okay? If I can't do either or for some reason, I'll run the pipe on him, okay? I'll climb, because he let me do it, okay? So there's decision making based off of what situation you're in, okay? So if you know, you're like, no, there's no way I'm gonna be able to treetop this guy. You go close to him. If he's like, you know what, I'm not gonna let you get the far ankle, well guess what? I have this I can go for, and I can pull him up. Okay, but you wanna make sure that you understand that when the guy's close to you, you go for that closer leg. When he's further from you, focus on legs you already have. Okay? Now we're just gonna focus on the fakes drill that everybody should practice when trying to go for fakes. Okay, so what me and my partner are gonna do is we're gonna be in a neutral position, okay? We're not gonna grab and tie up. We're just gonna be neutral the whole time. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually be reaching and tapping, not reaching and grabbing. So the way this is gonna work is that you're gonna be here, I'm gonna reach, tap, I fake, boom, just face, nothing else, no shots, no clinching. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back and forth and focus on just trying to get your partner to open up. So he's gonna be in a normal stance, right? So I want him to open up, okay? So I'm gonna fake, and he's gonna act like, he's scared. Just for the drill, okay? So I'm gonna be here, okay, I wanna open him up, boom. Get him to flinch a little bit, boom, boom. I'm here, boom, boom. And then now he's gonna go, and then we're gonna keep switching back and forth, okay? All right, now we're gonna do something called playing foot tag. Now what this does for you is that it gives you that reaction time you need when somebody's going for shots on you. And it helps you focus on your shot timing, that way you can get to the leg without them getting away from you. So how this works is that him and I are gonna be standing neutral position, okay? You can reach, you can tap, but you do not grab. Now, you go for 1 minute each, so one person's attacking, quote unquote, one person's defending. So if I'm the attacker and he's the defender, what he wants to do is stop me from getting at his feet. All I'm trying to do is tap his feet here. Boom, and he doesn't want me to get that. So I'm gonna be here, okay? And then I'm gonna reach for his foot, he's not gonna let me get it. We're gonna be here, okay? That's it. Okay, so I'm gonna be here. I'm faking a little bit maybe. Boom, I can get his foot and I win, okay? 1 minute each and then we keep going, okay? So look a little bit more like this. Here, come on. All right, you fake him, you move him, you make sure he doesn't know where you're going. Boom, boom, boom. You know, you keep hitting him. Keep going, boom, 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 boom. You know, he tries his best to keep his feet away from you. And then you guys switch. And then only one person attacks and one person defends. Okay, then at the same time, on the third one, we're both gonna go for it. It's like a wrestling match where you're only tapping his feet. Okay, so we're both gonna try to tap each other's feet. So we'll just go like simply, you know, he's doing his thing, boom, I'm doing my thing. Same time I'm going for it, he's going for it. Boom. This helps you with your shot timing and reactions. And it gets you used to going for stuff while someone's trying to go for stuff on you. And this really helps with your shot game overall, okay?